Many of you parents have been asking us for recommended resources for addressing the Catholic vision of love topics with your kids. Church's teachings on sexuality, on the human body, and things like that. And so this year we've got a lot of great resources for you, regardless of what program your kids are registered in. So just want to run through those quickly right now for you and link them below this email and tell you where you can pick those up. So the first one is called God Made All of Me. This is a great book. I've used this with my own kiddos, several of my kids. Right, this is designed for kids ages 3 to 8, and it really walks through, since God made all of me, how do I respect my body and how do I enforce other people respecting it? So it goes through some kid-friendly suggestions for if you don't like it when somebody hugs you or pats you on the back, how do you say no thank you to that? But also talks about what is just wildly inappropriate touching, right? And it talks about the bathing suit principle, right? No one should ever touch you in parts that your bathing suit covers, except your parents or a doctor with your parents in the room. It also walks through what kind of secrets are okay to keep and what kind of secrets are not okay to keep and how do you bring those up with your parents. And then it's got some super helpful discussion guides in it as well. So that's one designed for some of our littlest kiddos. The next one I don't have in stock yet because we're still waiting on the order to come in. But it's a book called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. And it's designed for kids ages 6 through 11. And as the title suggests, it talks about how do you navigate the murky waters of outright pornography or just inappropriate pictures that your kids are going to run across. If they have a phone or if they're doing internet research for school or if they're at a friend's house and a friend has something, it's a sad truth, but the average age of a first-time exposure to pornography is 10. That's 5th grade. Right, so you probably want to have these conversations before they encounter this sort of stuff. So it's a book that talks about what kind of pictures are good, what kind of pictures are bad, how do you differentiate, and what do you do when you run into a bad one, and it has discussion guides as well. So it's a helpful discussion starter for your kiddos. The next one I also don't have in stock yet because we're waiting for that to come in. It's called Theology of His Body, Theology of Her Body. And it's a book that's designed for teenagers, so it could be appropriate for your middle schooler. You'll want to check it out first just to make sure. But it goes through Pope John Paul II, St. John Paul II came up with this phrase, theology of the body. We can use the human body to understand something about God. And so it walks through what are our bodies for. And so it gets a little bit deeper into what is a Catholic vision of love and human sexuality. So again, I would recommend all of these. Review them before you let your kids look at them because we don't want to violate anybody's innocence. You know your kid better than we do, better than a publisher does. So if a publisher says it's appropriate for an 8-year-old, it might not be appropriate for your 8-year-old. So check it out first. So we got those 3 specifically for kids. God Made All of Me, Good Pictures, Bad Pictures, Theology of His Body, Theology of Her Body. And there's one more really awesome resource for you. It's called Made This Way by Layla Miller and Trent Horn. Trent Horn is an awesome apologist and podcaster. And Layla Miller has an excellent mom blog. So it's a nice balance of, you got the intellectual, not that Layla Miller's not an academic by any stretch, but you've got Trent Horn's brain power and Layla Miller's mom experience. And so this book is what I think is the best handbook out there for dealing with, the subtitle, How to Prepare Kids to Face Today's Tough Moral Issues. Walks through 10 different moral issues: transgender ideology, same-sex attraction, pornography, masturbation, a whole bunch of other stuff. And it goes through in 3 short segments for each one of those topics. What does the church actually say about this thing? How do I have this conversation with little kids? And how do I have this conversation with big kids? And it even goes so far as to script the conversation for you if you need to just kind of read through it as you're talking with your kid. Fantastic resource for how do you tackle some difficult topics to discuss with your kids. So these are going to be available for you. The ones that we have now are available now, and the ones that, once they come in, we'll get them out there. They'll be available in the lower level on the St. John and Paul campus and the lower level of the Cardinal DiNardo Center, the social hall building across the parking lot from the main church. If you go in the lower level, there's a series of white shelves there. All the Faith Formation home materials are there, and these will be there as well. And at Good Samaritan, when you walk into the church from the parking lot entrance, there will be a table in there. Also, Faith Formation and home materials will be there, but these books will be there as well, labeled materials for all Faith Formation families. So I hope you'll pick them up. I hope you'll take advantage of them. I hope you'll let us know what you think of them, because if they're really excellent resources, we might make sure that we get these into every family's household. And if you think it's not such a good resource, we'll make sure we find a different one. Or if you think that was great, but I know of a better one, let me know, because we would love to make even more resources along these lines available to our families as well.